The path to true success is achieved through determination.
With the goal!
Determination to grow, to push through, and to finish. Utah Valley student athletes strive for these qualities. UVU student athletes need your support from the community, their peers, and their families to achieve this growth and success in life.
Has an opportunity laid down, and there it is! A dive into third base.
Support from donors like you makes a significant impact on the lives of more than 370 Wolverines student athletes. The General Athletic Scholarship Fund will help our student athletes be successful in the classroom, on the field, and in life. Please support our student athletes with a personal donation and watch these men and women grow now and in the future.
Who am I? And furthermore, what do I want? What makes you itch? That's the most important investigation anyone can make. But you don't find this out until you investigate it. So I always ask the question, what would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life? Because if you say that money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. Forget the money. After all, if you do really like what you're doing, you can eventually become a master of it. And then you'll be able to get a good fee for whatever it is. Therefore, it's so important to consider this question. What do I desire?
Smooth sailing.
More traffic.
Great looking day ahead.
More weather.
New details are emerging.
More breaking news. Whenever, wherever.
That's good news.
More ways to know before you go.
You're gonna like the morning commute.
On KSL Today, weekday mornings on KSL 5. Experienced? Check. Accurate? Check. The team more Utahns trust to stay safe from winter weather surprises? Check, 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 and check. Know before you go. Check with the KSL 5 weather specialists.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want all in one place. With live broadcasts of multiple championships across all divisions. With exclusive access.
Ready to go?
And highlights for every single championship. Stay in the game all season long with NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app.
UCCU is both a credit union and a full-service mortgage company.
Which means that UCCU always provides the lowest rates and lower insurance premiums than other lenders. When your mortgage rate and insurance premium are lower, your monthly payment is also lower. It's just science. That's more money you can put into your home.
Or back into your pocket.
So if you're thinking about buying or refinancing a home, talk to us.
The credit union that's been putting people over profits for over 60 years.
It's what I do.
It's what I do.
It's what we do.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the campus of Utah Valley University for today's matchup between the visiting Antelope Valley Pioneers and the hometown Utah Valley Wolverines. Hello again. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Thank you for letting us be a part of your day here on the WAC Digital Network. Brandon Crow alongside Holton Hunsaker. Holton, it's been a while since we last here. Utah Valley went on the road, a couple more losses to stumble through, but they got a big victory and a confidence booster in Wyoming.
Yeah, I thought it was a big win for their program. Again, it's tough to win on the road. These preseason games and the schedule that the Wolverines have had, as you've mentioned, there's been a few losses along the way, but as you look at that schedule and you realistically...
Kamal Holden, Jacob Mast, and Chris Johnson. Utah Valley will be in their home whites with the green trim. Game on between the Wolverines and the Pioneers. Pioneers coming in from Southern California in the heart of the Mojave Desert. They're in their road reds with the very dark navy blue trim. Utah Valley starting it off, trying to go in low. Cassie Jardine now kicking it out. TJ Washington starts off with a bang for three. And that's a good sign for Utah Valley.
Yeah, again, everyone always wants to put together their keys to the game, right, of how they should start and what focus these Wolverines should have coming into this one. And getting an early start is definitely one. Any team that, you know, NAI school, any non-Division I coming in and get to play on a Division I court, everyone has high hopes to knock them off and to continue to build their own program as Iman gets the and one. And how well has he been playing? I think he's been a really big spark off the bench. Now starting due to injuries and just different lineup changes, especially when Isaiah White was out early with those knee injuries. I think it gave Iman a chance to kind of come into his own. We've talked about the blocks. We've talked about his energy defensively, but what he's done from the free throw line and add production offensively is big for this Wolverine team.
Lojapoki's three-point play puts the Wolverines on top 6-0. Wolverines with the break led by Washington. Washington pulls it back. Brandon Averett steps into one in transition. That one rims off. And here come the Pioneers. Johnson. Kyle Johnson again. Pioneers with 20 on the shot clock. Russo. Kyle with the release. Rebounded by Washington. Utah Valley again with a 6-0 lead. Brandon Averett with it on the left side. Stutter step. Gets stuck down low. Last touch off the Pioneers.
I kind of like the lineup change here, having Iman start with Trey coming off the bench. It gives some firepower and some, again, energy coming off as we're going to get TJ Washington with a foul there in transition. Right now between Isaiah White, Brandon Averett, Washington, and Jardine, you know, 72% of the Wolverines scoring comes from those four guys. And just as the season gets longer and longer, they're going to need production that would come from somebody and from somewhere. And hopefully, you know, Trey Woodbury is that guy and has a little bit of a chance to get a feel for the game and see what goes on the first few. And
Kumail Holden makes the first free throw. The senior from Los Angeles, California. Holden, a part of, again, this team, this Pioneer team in the NAIA ranks. They upset the number 2 ranked team in the country last week in the Masters College. NAIA schools in Southern California do very well. Antelope Valley, about 25-30 minutes away from the Masters College. In my hometown of Santa Clarita, California, is the Masters College. A famous alumni. He's also one of Coach Mark Madsen's former teammates, and Mike Penberthy. As Brandon Averett drives to the rack, gets a nice layup.
We won't ask where your heart truly lies in this game today, all right?
No need to question that. A stutter step and a travel called on the other side on Johnson. The Wolverines out to an early 8-2 lead.
As you mentioned, just NAIA basketball and how good it is, and coming out of Southern California. I mean, these guys are 10-4 right now on the year, and so they have a culture of winning, and you never know when that will continue to kick in as TJ Washington knocks down a 3, and an 11-2 start will humble a 10-4 team in a hurry.
Absolutely. TJ Washington with 2 threes early on in the first 3 minutes. We'll take a quick break here. Utah Valley on top, 11-2 in the early minutes on the WAC Digital Network.
You only need to answer one question. Will you accept the challenge to become? No matter where you are in life, no matter your interests, from award-winning accounting to marketing and entrepreneurship programs, there's a place for you at Utah Valley University. A place to engage, to rise, to succeed, to become.
Welcome back to Orem, Utah, on the campus of Utah Valley University. Brandon Crow alongside Holton Hunsaker. Hope you had a fantastic Christmas season, Hanukkah season, whatever season you're celebrating. Hopefully you're able to spend some good quality time with your family. Thank you for taking the time to be with us here. Pioneers missed that shot out of the timeout. Utah Valley on top, 11-2. Kazan Jardine steps into one and makes it from three. And the Wolverines are blazing from the perimeter right now.
You know, maybe we need to give Antelope Valley a little bit of a break, right? I mean, traveling out here to Utah Valley for them was not an easy task. These guys ended up taking a bus out here, and because of snow and weather, and a 3-point shot, a long ball from, I believe that's Ronnie
Russo.
That's right.
The third.
Excuse me.
So the third put some emphasis on his perimeter game.
These guys busted out here, and again, because of the weather and everything, 17 hours was their travel time. They ended up arriving into Orem last night at, just an early 1 a.m. for a 3 o'clock tip-off.
Russo again driving, and he makes that one. So Russo continuing to propel this offense for the Pioneers here. Russo the last 5 straight points for the Pioneers. Washington driving, dishing out to Isaiah White, who traveled on the outside as well. That Wyoming game, Holton, was huge for the Wolverines.
It really, in a sense, stopped the bleeding, right? Like, as you look at that schedule right there were 5 losses leading up to that one, and you and I had talked that because of that road trip after the Northern Arizona loss here at home, that they were kind of staring 7 straight losses right at them, and that Wyoming showed a lot of character in this team.
An acrobatic play, nice hustle point effort there from Antelope Valley. That was Alex Austin, who jumped clear over the first bench, landed in the second bench among the trainers for Utah Valley. Luckily, nobody was hurt. Austin back out there on the field, on the court.
It's fine. It was very football play-like, and
I mean,
I've been watching football on my mind
just been
right
watching
now
all the
tonight.
college football playoffs going on. Some big games tonight. Big implications. And honestly, this game, as Brandon Aber drives, gets the contact, no foul call, but he makes the runner anyway. This game for Utah Valley does have some big implications as well. I mean, they wrap up the calendar year for 2019, but this is the last non-conference game as, again, Russo answers with the floater of his own. So 7 straight points for Russo. Single-handedly propelling this Pioneer team only down by 7, and now they're causing problems on the defensive side with Isaiah White. Isaiah White draws the contact. Again, no foul call there. Coach Madsen wanting something. Russo going to try to dish it off this time. And another travel is called. A lot of happy feet early on in this game. And we'll take a quick break. This will lead us to a media timeout. Wolverines on top 16-9 early on in the first half. We'll be right back from Orem, Utah after this.
Oh, hey, you got one of those insurance apps too? You know how this thing works?
No, sorry. Not an app, it's my agent.
In this moment,
no, I'm fine, thanks.
It's good to know you have a trusted, independent auto owner's insurance agent who's there when you need them.
Great.
Man, I gotta get one of those.
Auto Owners Insurance. The no problem people.
Neil Dastrup Insurance, your local independent auto owners insurance agency, supports UVU athletics.
Welcome back to Orem, Utah, where the Wolverines have a 16-9 lead over the NAIA visiting Antelope Valley Pioneers from Southern California. And Holden, right before break, we were talking about how this game has implications for the Wolverines. Not, long-term per se or playoff implications, but this is the last time that the Wolverines are going to play here in 2019. It's the last non-conference game, last tune-up before conference play starts, because once that clock hits zero on the 31st and turns into January, the Wolverines are going to hit the ground running.
Right, and everything resets, right? Everybody's 0-0, and as we looked at the Wolverines' schedule and we looked at their record, we kind of saw that there wasn't a clear, juggernaut, so to speak, that there's always been in New Mexico State, right? I think right now the WAC is open for whoever wants to take it. In those first 3 to 4 games for the Wolverines, Chicago State, Kansas City, Seattle U, those are games the Wolverines are going to try to get to, really set the tone for them into WAC season and see what they can do.
Wolverines get their paws on it on defense. Isaiah White starting it with the steal. Now here comes Brandon Averett. Averett behind the back, through the legs to Kazan Jardine. Now Isaiah White. Isaiah White posted up in the paint. Draws the foul in the contact. And he'll go to the line to shoot too. I believe that foul is going to be called against Mosquitas.
So I got to see Isaiah White play quite a bit while he was at Salt Lake Community College, just because I had a little brother playing at Snow College. And I've always been surprised about his willingness to hustle and dive on loose balls. It's something I didn't imagine Isaiah White kind of prided himself in, but over these past 3 or 4 games that I've watched, as he's realized he's got to be that type of leader for this team and kind of set the example for his team, I've been amazed about his ability and willingness to dive on loose balls and be the guy that's the first to the ground.
And that's one of the many attributes that Coach Madsen, and before Coach Madsen, Coach Mark Pope loved about him, is that ability to be just selfless in the moment and try to be what the team needs him to be. Wolverines on top by 10, 19-9. Nice skip pass in the corner for Antelope Valley. This one rimmed off, one-handed rebound, strong by Trey Woodbury. Woodbury trying to go coast to coast and run straight into a defender. And an offensive foul. It's good work on the other side by Antelope Valley's Jacob Mast. And Mast is going to take a second to gather himself here.
I thought Mast did a good job of just holding his ground. I mean, those foul calls and those situations are getting so tough now with that Euro step. Guys are able to step around him, and that time Trey didn't end up going around him with the Euro step and ran right into him.
He's getting a nice stretch over there, Mast. And letting the little ball boys come out and get his mop. Get that sweat off the court. Mast with it, down low, going against Woodbury. And Mast throws some elbows in and draws a foul against Trey Woodbury. So Mast will go to the line to shoot 2. Senior forward from Hillsboro, Oregon, coming to UAV via Pacific University. And he collects on the first. Brandon Morley checking in for the Wolverines. And Ronnie Russo, the third, checks back in for Antelope Valley.
I think these will be big minutes for Brandon Morley, who I thought started the season pretty well, and then offensively is just kind of not disappeared is the right word to use, but struggled with his confidence to be able to do much around the rim, and hopefully in this game he can get some buckets to fall. As we've mentioned, the need for scoring here for the Wolverines.
14 on the clock. Averett Shake and bake move, puts it up off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Antelope Valley and pushed back up the court by Austin. Now Pioneers with Russo at the top of the key. Nice wide open pass down low. Austin gets met hard by Kazan Jardine, who fouls him and puts Austin at the line to shoot two. He fouls Jardine's first personal. Austin, the senior forward from Kailua, Hawaii, coming to UAV via Baylor. He makes the first. TJ Washington back in the game for Isaiah White. And with those 2 free throws, that cuts the Wolverine lead now to 6, 19-13, with a little over 13:30 left to play in the first half. Averett received it from Washington. Now going down low to Brandon Morley. Think they heard you, Holton. Trying to get the big man some minutes. Kick out to Ege Habza for 3. Yes! Habza rattles that one home. 22-13 for the Wolverines.
And I think all the postmen for the Wolverines do a good job of finding guys on perimeter. It's not a black hole. It's not, I'm going to get it and try to pound, even if there's nothing there. They all pass the ball very freely and easily out of the post.
Zeke Armstrong with a nice stutter step to shake the defender. Mid-range jumper. Habza thought about going low. TJ Washington, no look to Kazan Jardine. Yes, sir! Back-to-back three-pointers for the Wolverines. No look, magician-like pass from TJ Washington. Rebounded by Utah Valley. TJ Washington, head on a swivel. Again, a no-look pass to Kazan Jardine in transition. Heat check. That one comes off just a bit short. Now AV running it. Step into a 3, rim it off. Morley there to get a hand on it. Now Washington with the rebound for the Wolverines. Washington past the timeline. Shake and bake. Back to Jardine on the perimeter. 12 minutes left in the first half. 20 on the shot clock. Averett drives, gets past the defender. That was dirty.
Brandon Averett just so fast and quick with the basketball, and his ability to change speeds at an instant is obviously why he had a chance to play minutes at Oklahoma State.
Good hustle there by the Wolverines on the defensive side. This is a different effort than what we've seen here at home so far on the season, I would say, from Utah Valley. They look a lot more energized. They look a lot more determined and motivated here at home today. Nice defensive turning into an offensive play on the other side there by Chris Johnson with the steal and drive with the finish. And that forces the Wolverines to take a timeout. UAV only down by 10. Wolverines 27. Pioneers 17. This is our under 12 media timeout. We'll take a break from Orem, Utah. Be right back after this.
How does Costa Vida create the ultimate sweet pork burrito? We start by following our award-winning recipe, one that calls for everything to be made fresh, from scratch every day. Like our beautifully braised pork, seasoned beans, savory sauces, and delicious cilantro lime rice. Even our tortillas are cooked to order. It's a difference you can taste. Treat yourself to the ultimate sweet pork burrito, only at Costa Vida.
In this moment, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance that you do. What matters right now is the quality of your independent insurance agent.
Glad you're okay, Sarah. We'll take care of everything.
And the company that stands behind them.
Thanks so much for your help.
No problem.
Auto Owners Insurance.
Neil Dastrup Insurance, your local independent auto owners insurance agency, supports UVU athletics.
11:26 left in the first half. Brandon Crow alongside Holton Hunsaker. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Hope you were able to have a fantastic time with your family. Hopefully you still are. and letting us be a part of your day. We thank you here on the WAC Digital Network. Alongside Holton with our courtside producer and engineer extraordinaire, Ben Schroeder. Utah Valley enjoying a 27-17 lead over the Antelope Valley Pioneers. Right now, leading scorers for the Wolverines, a handful of players tied with 6, 3 to be exact, with TJ Washington, Brandon Averett, and Kazan Jardine. The Wolverines right now, Holton shooting 63% from the perimeter. Not too shabby.
No, and you mentioned that they're off to a much better start, and that start doesn't necessarily feel of that they're shooting better or their defense is so much, just their energy, right?
Yep.
I think a complete different start than what we had against Northern Arizona.
Or even Weber.
Even the Weber State game, exactly. And I want to attribute to one person. I think Isaiah White's energy, his toughness is just contagious, and it's tough to be a teammate of that type of guy giving that type of an effort and not want to go out there and play with him and not want to give the same type and level of effort that he's given.
Russo shaking and baking, dishing. Air ball there by the Pioneers, rebounded by the Pioneers, trying to figure out something offensively now with 12 seconds on the clock. Kyle gives away to Russo. Russo calling for the screen. Russo drives right, creates the shot, comes up short. Rebounded by Kazan Jardine for the Wolverines. Now TJ Washington past the timeline. Washington, so crafty, gives way to Brandon Averett, who explodes through the key. Kick out to Ege Havza. Havza gets wrestled with it, no call. TJ Washington tiptoeing down the baseline, 12 on the shot clock. Cross-court pass. Washington, Averett creates a space. Washington drives with the kiss. Does not fall in, but he gets the foul nonetheless with 6 seconds left on the shot clock. And that one's going to go against the Pioneers. I think they listed number 6, but they don't have a number 6 on the roster. They're actually going to give that to 13. So Jacob Mast, it's a foul. That was a crazy sequence there, kind of sloppy offensively.
It was a little sloppy, and I think it was, again, partly to a tough should I make a foul call, should I not make a foul call situation for the officials when Havza went down and got hit when he went to the rim.
So 25 on the shot clock, 10-13 left in the first frame. 29-17 Wolverine lead. Make that 29-19. Nice bucket there of Kamal Holden. Washington gives way to the big fella, Brandon Morley. Now Ege Havza, clean-shaven Ege Havza at that. And Morley with the two-handed jam.
Nice find there by Havza. Great job of rolling directly to the rim off the handoff by Brandon.
And big fella gets his hand on it. On the other side, Havza spreads out to the corner. Back to Averett. Averett, nice stutter step. Foul's called against Antelope Valley, and that's going to go against Ronnie Russo the third. That'll be his first personal.
TJ and Brandon have done a great job this first half of just any missed shot or even off of some made baskets and getting out quickly in transition.
Brandon Averett with the bucket. Now, I know a lot of people in the college basketball world, the higher-ups, quote-unquote, have talked about the possibility maybe in the future, Holton, and you can weigh in on this because you played Division I basketball, as Brandon Averett makes the second free throw. But come the holidays, they talked about possibly maybe letting the players have that week of Christmas off with no games to recharge, to be with their families. A lot of them aren't able to go and spend time with their families. But after last week, a handful of Wolverines as Russo steps into a deep three and drains it. That one from the Mojave, 33-22. But going back to that point, Utah Valley has not played since the 27th. So a whole week, they have not played in the whole week, Holton, since the 21st. As Brandon Morley doing work in the post, and I feel like this last week was a huge energy boost for this team, being able to go home, recharge their batteries, a handful of players going home, and we just see how it's a completely different team, in my opinion, than what we've seen here at home so far this year.
Yeah, that's definitely going to change person by person, right, and player by player specifically. So I've got a little brother, right, that I mentioned before, junior college, they have a mandatory, I think it's 2 weeks to 10 days that they have to take off. And then after that, he went and played for the Ivy League. And the Ivy League, during that finals week, they don't have any games or anything, so they almost get another week to 10 days off during that time frame. And it's a way to kind of recharge your batteries, as you said, to get away from it for a minute. Personally, I wouldn't have liked it. So I say all those good things.
Sure.
Personally, I would have liked it just because I just enjoyed the competition. I enjoyed being around the game so much. And I felt like having that long of a time away from it kind of, in a way, gave me a chance to get a little bit out of shape. And so,
okay.
I had to get back into shape coming back out of a long stretch like that. But so that's why I think it varies person by person, but definitely not a bad thing to consider. It's, tough for these guys that are coming from across the country to come to school. They don't get to see their families, don't have any time with them around the holidays, and for that I'm definitely sensitive to, and it is hard to do that.
It's an interesting topic, and we'll see what happens with that in the future. I know this past week a lot of people have thrown that out on social media, so we'll see what happens. A little sloppy play between both teams the last couple minutes or so, but nonetheless, Utah Valley takes the 33-22 lead into the media timeout. Under 8 minutes to play here in the first half.
Looking to spend that birthday money, Tyler? I'm just not sure which one to get. Well, they are both pretty cool. But saving some of that money would be pretty cool, too. Yep.
When's the right age to teach your children how to save and spend money wisely? Right now, with the Be Money Smart program only at Utah Community Credit Union. Inspiring smart decisions.
Welcome back to Orem, Utah, on the campus of Utah Valley University. Thank you for letting us be a part of your Saturday afternoon here on the WAC Digital Network. Again, you can watch these games, the KSL streaming app, the WAC Digital Network. You can download the app on Roku, Apple TV, as well as streaming it online. Send a special shout out to Wolverine fans across the country who are tuning in. Just got a message from a big Wolverine fan, Stephen Worthman, out in South Carolina. Stephen and his family, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate your support. Good buddy of mine. Wolverines on top now, 33-22. Still a lot of team-involved production by the Wolverines. Handful of players now with 8 points and 6 points. T.J. Washington, Brandon Averett leading the Wolverines, both with 8. Ronnie Russo, the third, however, team high and game high, 10 points. Isaiah White checks back in. Isaiah White with the stutter step, draws a contact, throws that one off the glass. No good. Here come the Pioneers. Beautiful pass down low. Austin to Russo. Russo now with 12 points.
Just a little miscommunication between Isaiah and Brandon there off the back screen, which left Russo wide open for his easiest basket of the game so far.
And on the other side, A.K. Hobbs says, hey, I can do a backdoor pass myself. There you go, Brandon Averett with the finish. Eman Olojopoki with the steal. Got kind of scared there. Didn't know what to do with it. Just gave right back to his guards.
Smart move.
Smart play. T.J. Washington back toward the basket. T.J. Washington no good. Rebounded by the Pioneers. Again, Russo leading the break. 6:40 left to play in the first half. TJ Washington with the steal for the Wolverines. Washington going one-on-one, drives, anticipated the contact, didn't get any, misses the layup. And they're
exactly right. The way he kind of dipped that shoulder and leaned back into the Russo, I think it was, trailing the play, kind of pulled the chair from underneath him, so to speak, in transition, and there was no contact to draw.
But nonetheless, the referees are still going to say it went off of the Pioneers, so it's Wolverine ball. Kazan Jardine now with it. 22 on the shot clock. Nice give and go. Too hot to handle there for Olojuboki. Russo the other way. Lost the ball. 22 seconds on the shot clock. Russo with it. Got to make a move. Showing off his skill, Russo. Ball fake. No look pass. Rejected by Olojuboki. Showing again why he's one of the nation's best shot blockers. Big hard foul on the other end, though. Nice drive taken by Sola. That'll be Olojuboki's first. Joanne Sola from Barcelona, Spain. Sola. Es perfecto. Sola rocking the European man bun. It's a look that I could not pull off. Maybe you could.
No.
With your turtleneck sweater, maybe.
No, not at all.
And Sola misses. Rebounded by Isaiah White. Now here comes TJ Washington and Wolverines again on top, 35-25. Havza to Jardine. Back to Havza again. Now Isaiah White puts it behind his back. 14 on the clock. White driving, creating the contact. No good at the rim. Rebounded by the Pioneers. Here comes Austin. Pushing it up. Here's a dribble and a missed shot by the Pioneers. Holden thought about it. Last touch off the Pioneers. Wolverine basketball to inbound. Kazan Jardine to TJ Washington. Jardine. Now they're cutting Isaiah White. And an offensive foul called against Isaiah White. When Isaiah White goes into the key, it's like he has a head full of steam, and it's going to take a lot to stop him.
Yes, he does. And I know it doesn't look the best, and at times it'll end up into that charge play, but I appreciate how hard he goes to the rim. And we've mentioned he's an energy guy, and it's contagious amongst his team. And they need someone to be physical out there. You look at that lineup right now, who on that team is going to bump a cutter? Who on that team is going to hit somebody? And we see Isaiah White come off a screen, and he is that guy. And so I don't mind him being physical on his drives because they need a presence of physicality, and he's embraced that role this year.
Absolutely. The other end, the Pioneers travel. It's like the 5th travel violation against the Pioneers. Another physical player on the inside, you can argue, is Eman Olojuboki as well.
He's just, it's weird to say, he's a skilled defensive player. The way he can block shots and the way he just jumps so easy at any time.
It's like a shorter Ben Wallace.
Yes.
Pioneers with the steal on the other side, 24 on the shot clock. Austin, guarded by Morley, going to go back to the perimeter. Cross-court pass. Now with the drive behind his back is Kyle. Again, cross-court pass by the Pioneers. This one comes up short. Austin trying to save it. Morley grabs it. Here come the Wolverines. Give and go. Jardine out to Washington. Cross-court no-look pass to White, who draws the contact. Count it! And the foul. Washington will go to the line to complete the three-point play. Old-fashioned.
In the spirit of football and the college football playoffs, Isaiah White's a north-south running back. Right, like he's gonna go north-south. He's gonna go hard, and because of that, he'll have plays like that where he gets a little bit extra production because of how hard he goes. He doesn't try to finesse it, and that time he's able to man his way and will his way into that shot.
White missed that free throw. Now the Pioneers in transition. Russo going to step into another three. That one comes up short. Austin with the rebound as he falls down and gets fouled in the process. And they're going to call a foul on Brandon Morley. And Brandon Averett will check in for Ege Habza for the Wolverines. If Isaiah White is the north-south running back, then TJ Washington is the punt returner who just goes left, right, side to side, and looks like he's being controlled by a joystick half the time. Brandon Averett skied up for the rebound, trying to get a tip on it. And the official call will say is off of the Pioneers, be Wolverine basketball. And I think there was a foul that was called, and the foul was called against Alex Austin. From the Hawaii native, you can say the foul call was not aloha. Guilty party sends Brandon Morley to the line. And Morley misses. So back-to-back misses by the Wolverines at the charity stripe. And Morley gets poked away from behind. Johnson. The big fella with the dish. This one kicks off of Austin's legs. Kyle with the spin moves, a little fancy-dancy when he could have had a nice open layup.
Exactly. Try to be a little too unselfish there after a terrific move to the rim.
But the Wolverines have a 37-25 lead. Less than 4 to play here in the first half. We'll be right back in Orem after this.
Thinking of buying a home? Think bigger. Because with UCCU's low interest rates and low mortgage insurance rates, you could qualify for more house with the same payment you could get from other local lenders. A mortgage with UCCU gives you more purchase power. That means more money you can put into your home or back into your pocket. To learn more, visit uccu.com/morehouse or stop by any UCCU branch today. More house, same payment. Only at UCCU, inspiring smart mortgage decisions.
When you know before you go how the latest breaking news, traffic, and weather will affect you, that equals a good morning. Wake up with the news specialists on KSL Today. Weekdays from 4:30 to 7.
Give your head a Mountain Dew kickstart.
This song.
Wolverines with a 37-25 lead over the Antelope Valley Pioneers, the visiting team from Southern California in the heart of the Mojave Desert. About 70 miles north of Los Angeles, about 44 miles as the crow flies, pun intended. Brandon Crow with you alongside Holden Hunsaker. Ronnie Russo, the third, leading all scorers in the game, 12 points for the Pioneers. Brandon Averett right behind him with 10 points for Utah Valley, leading all Wolverines. Utah Valley had one of the best starts at home of the whole season, and has fallen just a little stagnant here the last couple minutes. Fouls called off Antelope Valley. Washington will be at the line, shooting 1-1, and they're going to call that one against Kane Keel. TJ Washington makes the first free throw, the Oklahoma man. Trying to wish his Sooners all the best luck right now. Trailing the Bayou Bengals of LSU. And Isaiah White, TJ Washington makes both. So TJ Washington now tied with Brandon Averett for 10 points apiece. And TJ Washington takes a collision with Ronnie Russo. Looks back at the officials wanting a foul call. Isaiah White grabs the rebound, gives it back to TJ Washington. See how Washington responds. Kazan Jardine steps into a three. That one too strong. Morley out rebounded there by the Pioneers. Here comes Holden. Holden, cross court. And another travel call against the Pioneers. You hear Coach Mattson calling out the plays in the background.
I don't know about this whole new flop warning thing. Like, I agree with it in the sense that they have to have some type of way of controlling the flop situations, but at times to stop the game, they make the foul call or the flop warning after a play occurs, and then they can go back to the official that, you know, sits behind the scores table and make the foul call. But I don't know, I haven't seen it have a huge impact yet, but I can just see it down the road in a close ball game. As
here comes Isaiah White. Woo! That's how you do it right there. That's a man's jam with the one hand from Isaiah White.
That left knee looks okay today.
Yeah, it does. And so does that hair when it's flowing in the wind like that.
I don't know about that, but the knee looks good.
Johnson. Nine on the clock for the Pioneers. Got to make a move. 6, 5. Russo with 4, 3, 2, 1. Counts if it goes. That one doesn't fall. And stripped away at the baseline by T.J. Washington. Another outlet pass to Isaiah White. Isaiah White draws the contact. And they're going to call offensive foul on Isaiah White on that one.
Those calls are always tough. I mean, it could go either way every time, but that's why I don't get too frustrated with him. I respect the guy that would stand there and try to take the charge. He took Isaiah's shoulder right in his chin. And then from Isaiah's side, it's tough because they just made a great play defensively. He's going to the rim. That guy was kind of sliding to the baseline, and unfortunately pick up another foul for Isaiah to send him to the bench for the rest of the half.
Nice rebound and put back up and in by Moskaitis. (41-27) Wolverines on top. Eke Hamza. 18 on the shot clock. Kazan Jardine with a nice move to go baseline. Kick it back out to T.J. Washington. Washington spinning around the key. Kicks it back out to Brandon Averett. That one comes up short. Pioneers come away with it. Here comes Johnson past the timeline now. Johnson going 1v1 against Averett. This one too strong. Rebounded by the big fella. Pushed it back up the court to Brandon Averett. T.J. Washington in transition to Kazan Jardine. Washington, he'll step into a three, and that one rims out. So 1 minute left here in the first half. 41-27. Wolverines on top. Pioneers trying to chip away as much as they can before the halftime buzzer. Russo, so dangerous, gets his own rebound, couldn't put it back up, and T.J. Washington's going to slow things down for the Wolverines. Russo right now 5 of 11, team total 9 of 35 for the Pioneers. Feels like he's put up 35 shots.
Hobbs on that last possession trying to go for the 2-for-1, trying to put up a quick three there and came up a little short. Something that I think Hobbs should continue to do. He not necessarily go for the 2-for-1, but they need his scoring, and he actually has a beautiful jump shot and a good feel for the game. As we might get a review here as a
that looked good
layup.
to me.
I thought he got it off. There was a nice spin move going to the rim. That's the second spin move we've seen from him attacking the rim.
Comel Holden with the reverse layup with the kiss off the glass, and the officials are going to go back to the scores table, take a look at it. Here's the official call. Basket is good. Looked like he snuck it in real time. The referees just want to make sure. Good officiating. 41-29 Wolverines on top with 6.9 seconds left in the first half. Averett finally grabs it, give and go, and he gets fouled on the perimeter. And this foul will go against Chris Johnson. And that'll be his second personal foul. And that'll send Averett to the line.
many team fouls do they have? 7 or 6?
I've really respected Brandon's approach to this season. He comes from Oklahoma State. I haven't seen him feel like or get any sense that he's bigger than this program. He handles himself very well, especially during this up and down time of the season and kind of this, tough stretch the Wolverines have been through. I haven't seen him have any attitude or I just think he handles himself extremely well, and he compliments T.J. Washington well. He kind of lets T.J. Washington lead the show as we get Ronnie with a quick last-second floater at the rim that doesn't fall, but best half we've seen so far from the Wolverines at home. Great energy, and hopefully they can continue that in the second half.
The Wolverines take a big lead, 43-29. At the break is the Wolverines lead right now. And Holton, like you said, it's the best overall complete half I think we've seen from the Wolverines so far.
It always helps when you score 43 points and a half. Makes anybody look good, and these guys, they earned that 43 points, and hopefully they continue that in the second half.
We'll take a break right here on the WAC Digital Network from Orem, Utah. At halftime, we'll be right back. Wolverines on top.
How does Costa Vida create the ultimate sweet pork burrito? We start by following our award-winning recipe, one that calls for everything to be made fresh, from scratch every day. Like our beautifully braised pork, seasoned beans, savory sauces, and delicious cilantro lime rice. Even our tortillas are cooked to order. It's a difference you can taste. Treat yourself to the ultimate sweet pork burrito, only at Costa Vida.
Smooth sailing.
More traffic.
Great looking ahead.
More weather.
New details are emerging.
More breaking news. Whenever, wherever.
That's good news.
More ways to know before you go.
You're going to like the morning commute.
On KSL Today, weekday mornings on KSL 5.
If we can see things for what they are. If we can see what they could be. If the plastic we use, we never throw away. If the end of one thing could be the beginning of the next. If we know that less can create more. If we can return, we reciprocate, we regenerate. If we are here for others, if we can work as a team, all we have to do is connect, and the world opens up. The future is about giving back.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want all in one place. With live broadcasts of multiple championships across all divisions. With exclusive access.
Ready to go?
And highlights for every single championship. Stay in the game all season long with NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app.
Thinking of buying a home? Think bigger. Because with UCCU's low interest rates and low mortgage insurance rates, you could qualify for more house with the same payment you could get from other local lenders. A mortgage with UCCU gives you more purchase power. That means more money you can put into your home or back into your pocket. To learn more, visit uccu.com/morehouse or stop by any UCCU branch today. More house, same payment. Only at UCCU, inspiring smart mortgage decisions.
What's the difference between buying from Murdoch and buying from somebody else?
In a word, confidence. You'll love our price match guarantee, our 5-day exchange policy,
and don't forget car washes and safety inspections for life. If you need a new vehicle, consider Murdoch Chevrolet. I promise you'll love it.
who am I? And furthermore, what do I want? What makes you itch? That's the most important investigation anyone can make. But you don't find this out until you investigate it. So I always ask the question, what would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life? Because if you say that money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. Forget the money. After all, if you do really like what you're doing, you can eventually become a master of it. And then you'll be able to get a good fee for whatever it is. Therefore, it's so important to consider this question. What do I desire?
The latest from KSL 5 News, including breaking news as it happens, and all your favorite KSL shows, ready to watch anytime. Download the free KSL app right now on all your favorite devices. Experienced? Check. Accurate? Check. The team more Utahns trust to stay safe from winter weather surprises? Check, 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 and check. Know before you go. Check with the KSL 5 weather specialists.
What's the difference between buying from Murdoch and buying from somebody else? In a word, confidence. You'll love our price match guarantee, our 5-day exchange policy,
And don't forget car washes and safety inspections for life.
if you need a new vehicle, consider Murdoch Hyundai. I promise you'll love it.
The path to true success is achieved through determination.
With the goal!
Determination to grow, to push through, and to finish. Utah Valley student athletes strive for these qualities. UVU student athletes need your support from the community, their peers, and their families to achieve this growth and success in life.
Has an opportunity laid down, and there it is! A dive into third base.
Support from donors like you makes a significant impact on the lives of more than 370 Wolverines student athletes. The General Athletic Scholarship Fund will help our student athletes be successful in the classroom, on the field, and in life. Please support our student athletes with a personal donation and watch these men and women grow now and in the future.
Welcome back to Orem, Utah, on the campus of Utah Valley University. Wolverines on top, 43-29. Hello, everybody. Brandon Crow alongside Holton Hunsaker. Thank you for letting us be a part of your Saturday afternoon here on the WAC Digital Network. Holton, maybe aside from the Kentucky game, this has probably been one of the most complete first halves we've seen from Utah Valley.
Yeah, and I thought, again, it got started because of Isaiah White. His energy, his toughness, and physicality that we've mentioned really got everyone else to buy into this game. It's hard to get up for Antelope Valley. It just is what it is, right? Especially when you're looking into my first couple games of WAC play. We just got a road win at Wyoming. How do you get guys energized and ready to play against a non-Division I opponent? And it takes senior leadership. It takes those that are mature enough to come out and take care of business. I think Isaiah White really set the tone early, and everybody followed, and that included T.J. Washington and Brandon Averett, who pushed the ball extremely well in transition and put pressure on Antelope Valley to guard them early in possessions, which then, as possessions got later and later, were tougher to defend as it just wears guys out, and they found easy baskets, which resulted in this 14-point lead.
Game on in the second half between the Pioneers of Antelope Valley and the Wolverines of Utah Valley. Pioneers led by Ronnie Russo, that man right there with the ball, who gets the ball stuck to start off the second half. Russo leading all Pioneers in by a long shot, too, with points. 12 points in that first half, coming on 5 of 12 from the floor, 2 of 4 from deep. The next closest Pioneer to him is his teammate Comel Holden with 6. Meanwhile, for the Wolverines, Brandon Averett with 12, T.J. Washington with 10, Isaiah White with 5, Kazan Jardine with 6, and every other Wolverine that's stepped foot on the court has at least 2 points. Good sign for the Wolverines. They switch it up. Now T.J. Washington with it for the Wolverines. 15 on the clock. Washington, stutter steps, drives, finds a crease, and lays it up and in. Beautiful move by T.J. Washington.
There were probably 4, maybe 5 different hesitation moves T.J. Washington used right there, and beautiful layup finish it.
Rebounded by Kazan Jardine. Isaiah White, now to Jardine. Washington again. Washington now goes left. Washington, the recipient again. Cross-court pass to Jardine in front of his own bench. Going to put it down the baseline. Has this one stripped momentarily. Olojapoki puts it up and in. Nice and easy for number 4. Pioneers trying to respond. Trailing 47-29. And that one, miscommunication there between Russo and Holden. Now, for those of you just now joining us, Holden, you broke down the travel routine that the Pioneers had with a nice, beautiful turnaround from Kazan Jardine. So with a crazy travel via bus that Antelope Valley had to have with snow along the way, it was, what, 15, 16 hours?
That's what was communicated back. It was actually 17 hours.
17 hours.
I guess they
got in at 1 o'clock this morning.
1 o'clock this morning, and frustrations of that, anxiety, nerves before the big game. It's these guys probably going off of, maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep from last night.
Nice floater in the lane from Ronnie Russo. And now, as you continue to progress later on in this game, the elevation and endurance start to kick in too.
And that's when the games for these guys get long, right? I mean, that's when the athleticism, the concentration, and just the basketball IQ of the Wolverines should separate themselves as this next 6 or 7 minutes as they'll try to extend this lead to 20 plus, which hopefully they do, right? And then these guys can get rested and give other guys on the bench much needed time and preparation going into conference play, which they'll need depth. They'll need their bench in order to have a successful conference run.
T.J. Washington makes the first of his 2. And he makes both. T.J. Washington now with 14 points, leading all Wolverines and tied with Ronnie Russo for the Pioneers. Nice in-net pass, just barely missed by Olojupoki. Divitis Mokaitis. Trying to find Olojupoki in the air. This one tipped away. Here come the Pioneers. Kyle, nice drive in dish. Swallowed by Olojupoki. T.J. Washington to Brandon Averett. Averett, cross-court pass. This one intercepted. And they're going to call Isaiah White with the foul. And that'll be his third personal.
And even being up by 20, the turnovers have just got to stop, right? It's by principle. It's by how you identify yourself. And, you know, over the last, again, that 7-game stretch that the Wolverines have went through, they're averaging more than 16 turnovers a game. And with that, they're giving up 10 offensive rebounds. That's 26 extra possessions that they're having to fight against. And it has to be how you identify yourself. And so I know this game is what it is, but those cross-court one-handed passes that Brandon and TJ sort of throw at times, and another one goes into the third row. And I know TJ gets frustrated and looks around, but who leads that charge, right? It has to be your guards, and it's just something that they've got to clean up, or it's just tough to win ball games, giving up 20-plus extra possessions to the other team of getting shots at.
Right now, the Utah Valley Wolverines are at 14 turnovers for the game. As Brandon Morley is the beneficiary of that bad pass from the Pioneers. Isaiah White grabs it, drives down the baseline, gets stripped. Morley's there to pick it up, however. Still with Utah Valley. Kazan Jardine steps into it in front of his own bench. You got it. Kazan Jardine tacks on 3 more to his point total. 11. Jardine now in double digits. 54-35, Wolverines on top. Antelope Valley rattles one home from the corner. A nice shot there from Ruben Gonzalez.
Wolverines on that last possession drop back into a 2-3 zone. And again, I'm not sure if that was for strategic purposes of size or foul calls, but we'll see after this one on the WAC Digital Sports Network.
In the WAC, we value sportsmanship on the field,
on the track, on the court, in the pool,
and in the stands.
We take pride in playing fair and being honest.
We honor the game by showing respect for our opponents,
the officials,
the fans, and our team.
Great sportsmanship is about keeping everything in perspective.
It's about taking ownership after a loss.
And being humble after a win.
We hope you'll team up with us by staying positive on the sidelines. Because great sportsmanship is what unites us.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want all in one place. With live broadcasts of multiple championships across all divisions. With exclusive access.
Ready to go?
And highlights for every single championship. Stay in the game all season long with NCAA.com and the NCAA Sports app.
Wolverines are on top 54-37 here in Orem, Utah, on the campus of Utah Valley University. Brandon Crow alongside Holton Hunsaker. Thank you for letting us be a part of your Saturday evening / afternoon, depending on what time zone you're in. It could be morning as well. I mean, we don't know who's tuning into this, but
Wolverine fans overseas, guys
absolutely.
playing for different teams, and never know situations. So for sure.
Right now, your leading scorer for the Wolverines is T.J. Washington with 14 points. Brandon Averett with 12. Kazan Jardine, after that last three-pointer, now sits at 11. Still, the game high is Ronnie Russo with 16 points for Antelope Valley. Trey Woodbury, haven't seen him in a long time. He checks in and draws a foul as he drives to the rack. Woodbury, perfect 1 for 1 from the floor. And 2 points. And another timeout being called. And we'll stay here. So TJ Washington started this game off with a three-pointer, and he had 2 3-pointers within the first 3 minutes. And Utah Valley started off in the first 5 minutes, 4 of 6 from three-point land. But we'll take a quick break, switch to a full timeout. We'll be right back after this.
I came to college to play my sport, but more importantly, to earn a degree.
I'm constantly learning from those around me, my professors and peers, my coaches and teammates, and even my opponents.
There's nothing better than game day, battling side by side with my teammates.
The competition is what pushes me to be the best that I can be.
I take pride in my community and want to ensure that I am giving back and inspiring the next generation to do the same.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
Say it to my face. You don't know me. You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter.
Shortstop.
High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
Trey Woodbury at the free throw line coming out of this media timeout. 15:36 left in regulation. Utah Valley on top 54-37. And Trey Woodbury gets the shooter's touch. Now 3 points on the day for Woodbury. And make that 4. So limited minutes so far for Woodbury. I don't know if there's something that Coach Madsen wants to rest him for, but only about 3 minutes of action so far and counting. We know J.J. Overton is on the bench for the Wolverines with a little cast on his hand. So some extra time to heal before conference play begins. Nice drive, dish and go in the paint. Holden, courtesy of Gonzalez.
Gratefully on JJ's hand, I saw it wasn't a hard cast, right? And so it doesn't look like he's had any surgery or anything on that hand, but don't have any for sure news or update. It's just they're going to need his production and play as Morley. A nice finish in the post.
The big fella cashing in, 58-39 Wolverines on top. And we know the last home game that we were here, it seemed like J.J. Overton was having some hand trouble, maybe against the Weber State game, as Russo continues to attack on his points. But it's better if you're going to have injuries, hopefully you can get them done and out of the way before conference play begins.
That's right.
I know looking at the conference, that's one thing that's played Grand Canyon, New Mexico State, and really you could put all the teams in the conference on the wall right now and close your eyes and throw a dart and see which one it hits, and that's honestly what everybody on the outside looking in the Western Athletic Conference right now is looking at. A beautiful give and go, but rejected at the rim by Kyle was Isaiah White. Now Kyle's feeling it on the offensive side here. Russo, the stutter step drive, goes around the trees, too high off the glass. Rebounded by Trey Woodbury. Woodbury, cross-court pass to Jardine. Jardine on the floor. Pulls it back now to Woodbury again. Hobza gives it to big Brandon Morley. And he misses a little too hard on the touch. And here comes Ronnie Russo in Antelope Valley.
Those are the ones you want Brandon just to take a couple power dribbles back up into the lane, create some contact and space for himself, and just smack the glass and put it in.
Kyle from mid-range gets it over a couple Utah Valley defenders. 58-43. Antelope Valley. Kyle now back-to-back buckets, 4 straight points. As Havza gives way to Kazan Jardine, who steps into a three. That one too strong. No white shirts home to rebound for the Wolverines, and the Pioneers in transition, led by Kyle. And they're going to call a block.
The only way I can see that one, and I think it's reviewable if his feet are in that charged circle. But Jardine, he, as you would say, had a hot dog down there waiting for him.
Jardine, a little disgruntled, comes off. And nobody wants to take another look at it. 58-43. Referees just say play on. Gonzalez in transition. That one rims off. And Kyle coming in from behind pushes to Utah Valley. Bodies out of the way and pleads his case with shrugged shoulders to the officials, saying, "What'd I do?"
I would too. No, on that last charge or block call, those ones I don't quite understand as well. And the officials sometimes, I mean, why wasn't he shooting free throws as well? So that's what makes me think maybe the officials kind of second-guess themselves on that foul call.
Woodbury trying to create a space. No blood, no foul. And Isaiah White saves it by chucking it off of Austin. Isaiah White nearly sat in some patrons' laps trying to save that ball. He does so successfully. Brandon Averett trying to get the ball in, finds Trey Woodbury. That one rims off. Morley got a hand on it. Instead, here comes Antelope Valley. Nice drive with the contact. No foul from Johnson. The whole Antelope Valley bench wanted some whistle blown. But, hey, Holton, don't look now, but it's only a 13-point lead for the Wolverines. Antelope Valley has just stormed back here in the second half. Isaiah White stepping into a three. No good. And it looks like Utah Valley right now is
they're not getting out in transition. Exactly. Nothing's coming easy to them these last, 3 to 4 minutes as this thing was nearly
a 10-point ball game.
10-point game. If that one would have went down, and now you see T.J. Washington coming in, who does, again, such an excellent job of forcing the issue in transition, and Isaiah White gets the finish down low.
Nice pass there from Trey Woodbury. Johnson, high dribble. Now Gonzalez. 15 total team assists now for the Wolverines. Gonzalez behind the back pass to himself. Woodbury, outlet to Brandon Averett. Averett, beautiful finger roll. The levitation from Averett gets it to fall. Now Mast on the other side, rejected by Morley, but not before a foul was called. And that's going to go against Trey Woodbury. And that'll be Woodbury's third personal foul. And that'll take us to another media timeout. 62-45. We'll be right back after this on the home of WAC Sports.
The latest from KSL 5 News, including breaking news as it happens, and all your favorite KSL shows, ready to watch anytime. Download the free KSL app right now on all your favorite devices.
You only need to answer one question.
Will you accept the challenge to become?
It doesn't matter your situation in life.
No matter your interest.
Whether your first choice or second chance.
There's a place for you.
Place for you. Place for you at UVU.
Place to engage,
to rise,
to succeed,
to become.
When you know before you go how the latest breaking news, traffic, and weather will affect you, that equals a good morning. Wake up with the news specialists on KSL Today, weekdays from 4:30 to 7.
Our in-house MC giving out some awards to some fans who can make some consecutive free throws. 13 was the winning number. Holton, right now, you could probably go out there and make 13 straight layups with one hand. Right now the Wolverines on top, 62-45. Final home game of the 2019 portion of the 2019-2020 calendar season for the Wolverines. Thank you for celebrating that with us. A couple days away from New Year's. And right after that is when the Wolverines will begin conference play. Starting out at Chicago State on January 2nd, then at Kansas City on the 4th, then at Seattle U on the 11th before coming back home on the 16th to take on New Mexico State. And then the 18th with UT-RGV. Conference play, it's always fun. And a fresh start for everybody.
A fresh start, but not anything the Wolverines aren't going to be used to. Again, starting on the road, 3 straight road games, Chicago State, Kansas City, and then up to Seattle U. You know, all 3 are going to be tough games, and really every game at this point, because those first 2 squads who have struggled in the preseason, they're saying the same thing, right? Everybody's 0-0. This is our chance to really have a second chance to have a good season, and so tough to start on the road in conference play, but good experience so far for Wolverines in preseason to be road warriors, so to speak.
Brandon Morley misses the rebound and gets fouled on the putback. And that foul is going to go against Austin, excuse me. That'll be his second personal foul. And Brandon Morley representing Donovan Mitchell from the local Utah Jazz with his shoes. He misses. Brandon Morley, transfer from University of Utah, and misses both. Somebody that the coaches fought very hard for to get his eligibility to play this season. And somebody that, especially going into conference play, the Wolverines and Coach Mark Madsen, being a former big man himself, really going to try and rely upon, seeing him getting the most minutes of his career here in Utah Valley so far today. About 18 minutes and counting, and that's a beautiful jump shot there, old school, by Austin. 62-49, Brandon Averett on the other side driving, kicks back out. And the ball rotates around the perimeter, now settles with Washington. Isaiah White kicks it back out. Woodbury steps into a 3, misses. And here come the Pioneers. Russo. Mast in the corner. Russo. Bounce pass in the corner. Again, 13 on the clock for the Pioneers. Johnson now with it. 10, 9, 5 on the shot clock. Got to put it up. Bounce pass in the corner. Armstrong for 3. That one misses. And that rebound gobbled up by Woodbury. T.J. Washington pushing it up the court with tempo. Finally pulls it back to watch the rest of his white shirt teammates come back into the picture. Isaiah White thought about the 3. Now Woodbury posting up, kicks it back out. Isaiah White, stutter step, 13 on the clock. Spin move fade away by Woodbury. Big rebound there as Woodbury misses. Here come the Pioneers as Kaz Jardine set to come back in for the Wolverines. 9 minutes left in regulation. Russo back out to Armstrong. Armstrong with the floater over Brandon Morley. Now here comes Washington. Back up the court. Isaiah White on the left-hand side. Isaiah White spin move creates the contact. And they're going to call a defensive foul. And that one's going to go against Mast. That'll be his 4th personal. And send Isaiah White to the free throw line.
And still only a 13-point game, and so these are big free throws for Isaiah White to really start and regain momentum by the Wolverines as they've struggled again to find anything consistently easy on the offensive end. A couple times Trey Woodbury, I thought, had the mismatches the Wolverines wanted on the block, and the fadeaway jump shot and then kind of a quick shot the possession before. As Isaiah misses the first.
So Armstrong, Mast, and Austin will take a seat for the Pioneers as the Spaniard checks in. Sola, along with Holden and Monkaitis. Jardine still sitting, waiting for Mark Madsen's approval to come in for the Wolverines. 22 on the clock for the Pioneers. And a beautiful shot hanging in the air was Holden. 62-51. Wolverine lead now only 11. They've been stuck at 62 for the last 3 minutes. Woodbury thought about it. Now Averett drives. Sees the red shirts, kicks it back out to Isaiah White, who drives, creates the contact. And a late foul is called. And this one's going to go against Monkaitis. That'll be Monkaitis' third personal foul.
And we mentioned before that this Antelope Valley team is 10-4 on the year, and so for them to stick around like they have this second half, even when the lead got to 20 or 22 points, as Isaiah White redeems himself and makes the first one of this trip to the free throw line, these guys were going to make a run at it. They weren't going to lay back and let the Wolverines kind of coast in to the win here, and they've shown in the second half still only a 12-point game with Isaiah White pushing it back to 13.
Isaiah White gets a well-deserved rest. 26 minutes so far, 9 points, 3 of 9 from the floor, as Kazan Jardine checks back into the game for him. 8:13 left to play in regulation. Wolverines on top, 64-51. And Woodbury called for the body check, and that's number 4 on Trey Woodbury.
Unfortunately, Trey, I think, just kind of being a product of just bigger than these guards out there right now. And when he bumps into those guys on their drives, they move a little bit more than he's used to, and been picked up on a couple foul calls. As I think we got an illegal screen here down on the baseline.
And that'll take us to a media timeout. Under 8 to play, 64-51. The Wolverines on top here in Orem, Utah. We'll be right back after this on the WAC Digital Network.
What is it about the car shopping experience at Murdoch Hyundai that has everyone talking? Maybe it's the safety inspections or the car washes for life. It could be the price match guarantee, or maybe it's just the way you're treated. Come fall in love in Linden, Logan, and Murray at Murdoch Hyundai. Your no regrets dealer.
64-51 is the score. A little less than 8 minutes to play here in regulation. Brandon Crow alongside Holton Hunsaker. Thank you for letting us be a part of your Saturday afternoon on the WAC Digital Network. Ronnie Russo III leading all scorers for Antelope Valley with 18 points. The next closest person to him on his own team is Kamel Holden with 10. Bass, Johnson, Gonzalez all with 4 points apiece. Austin with 4. And Devitis Smalkaitis with 4 as well for the Utah Valley Wolverines. TJ Washington and Brandon Averett both at 14 points. Kazan Jardine at 11. Isaiah White with 9. And Utah Valley with 16 team assists right now. And about 8 minutes left in regulation. They have a 64-51 lead. And Brandon Averett. Averett again, the recipient. 11 on the clock. Now single digits with 8. Averett drives, kicks in Kazan Jardine. And that's good. Kazan Jardine, money. front of his own bench. Jardine now with 14 points. That's his 4th three-pointer on the day.
He shot the ball really well from 3, and he's one that can have games like this. And not only against Antelope Valley, he has a beautiful stroke, and he just has a knack for finding open areas on the perimeter off of ball screens or off of penetration by T.J. Washington and Brandon Averett.
Washington, baseline. Isaiah White almost with the poster. Beautiful threading the needle pass there by T.J. Washington. And Isaiah White gets fouled by Joanne Sola. And you can see T.J. Washington and Isaiah White both smiling and being like, man, we almost had that one. And UCC Center is quiet as a church. Isaiah White. White now with 10 points. And misses on the second one. Isaiah White has not connected on a three-pointer yet, but they're going to call an offensive foul. And this one's going to go against Devitis Mokaitis. .58-51, little less than 7 to play. T.J. Washington, more hesitation, kicks it back out to Averett. And an illegal screen set by Utah Valley, as T.J. Washington was already looking for the alley-oop to Olojopoki.
I thought TJ knew that was coming and got a little excited there coming off of that screen and left too early. Most of the time those fouls aren't on the screener. It's the guy with the ball starts to dribble and leave too soon before his teammate can get set on the screen.
Russo in the corner for 3. That one misses. T.J. Washington got a hand on it. Averett keeps it alive. Averett past the timeline for the Wolverines. Averett leaves it back for Washington. 68-51, Washington pulling it back to run some clock. Washington again creating his own space. And this was touched. It looked like that one from our angle touched off of Chris Johnson, then hit the referee and went out, but referee's going to say that Isaiah White last touched it.
And those are the types of plays that T.J. Washington just has to eliminate. He is such a great passer, and we've seen it not only this season, but over the past season as well. He finds guys, and sometimes he sees their own shots that they don't see, and they're not ready for it at times, and he needs to take his own jumpers. As that one, he had a wide open shot as Antelope Valley just not going away, and that three-point shot cuts it to just 14 again.
Kyle in transition with the three-pointer. 68-54 is the lead, and Coach Madsen's going to call a timeout to think things over. It'll be a full timeout, and we'll take a break with them as well. Again, Wolverines on top, 68-54. We'll be right back in Orem after this.
UCCU is both a credit union and a full-service mortgage company.
Which means that UCCU always provides the lowest rates and lower insurance premiums than other lenders.
When your mortgage rate and insurance premium are lower, your monthly payment is also lower.
It's just science.
That's more money you can put into your home.
Or back into your pocket.
So if you're thinking about buying or refinancing a home, talk to us.
The credit union that's been putting people over profits for over 60 years.
It's what I do.
It's what I do.
It's what we do.
What's the difference between buying from Murdoch and buying from somebody else? In a word, confidence. You'll love our price match guarantee, our 5-day exchange policy, and don't forget car washes and safety inspections for life. If you need a new vehicle, consider Murdoch Chevrolet. I promise you'll love it.
The Green Man Gang leading the Wolverines with their Santa hats. Very festive. The Wolverine faithful here at Utah Valley. Utah Valley Wolverines on top 68-54 with about 5:30 left to play in regulation. Kazan Jardine will inbound for the Wolverines. Jardine, one of 4 of the 5 Wolverines on the court with double-digit points. White with 10, Washington, Averett, and Jardine all with 14, and Big Brandon Morley with 4 points. And they're trying to feed the big fella who goes back out. Washington sees the crease, drives on the baseline, kicks it back out to Isaiah White. Averett calling for it. Quick defense, 2 red shirts in front of him. Isaiah White drives, gets the pump fake, and it beats the buzzer. .450 left to play in regulation, 70-54. Wolverines giving themselves a little bit more cushion, but the Pioneers still not going away, putting up a very valiant fight here in the UCCU Center. Beautiful cross-court pass and a two-handed flush from Austin.
On that play, I thought Brandon came over to help when he didn't need it, and another turnover on a no-look pass there by T.J. Washington.
Kyle on the perimeter, 70-56. And again, Antelope Valley making things very interesting here in the final minutes. Russo with a travel. Too much James Harden. And Russo really shot himself in the foot because they had an opportunity to really do some damage on that offensive possession.
Yeah, with a 14-point lead, you know, a 3 obviously could put it to 11 as the Wolverines just not able to close this one out and extend this to where they know it's over.
Averett going to step into a 3, and he'll rattle that one home. 73-56. Brandon Averett now with 17 points, a team high. Austin steps into a 3 to answer, and he answers from the corner. What did you say that average was for turnovers for Utah Valley, Holden? Because right now they're at 17.
Yeah, it's been.
Make that 18.
It's been 16 over the past 3 or 4 losses, and that's really been what, you know, the Achilles heel, so to speak, for the Wolverines is turnovers and offensive rebounds, giving these guys extra possessions and allowing them to keep this thing close enough to where these starters have to stay on the court.
We'll take a break. Utah Valley on top, 73-59, and we'll come back with the final 3 minutes after this.
The latest from KSL 5 News, including breaking news as it happens, and all your favorite KSL shows, ready to watch anytime. Download the free KSL app right now on all your favorite devices.
.73-59 is the score here at Orem, Utah, with a little over 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to play in regulation. Ryan Russo still leading all scorers with 18 points for the Pioneers of Antelope Valley. Right behind him, however, is Utah Valley's own Brandon Averett with 17 points. Utah Valley has T.J. Washington and Kazan Jardine with 14 points and Isaiah White with 12. Eman Olojupoki with 5. Trey Woodbury with 4. Ege Havza 3. Brandon Morley with 4. But Utah Valley, again, continuing to give careless turnovers away to the other team. 18 so far on today's match, and those turnovers have led to 14 points for the Pioneers.
Gratefully on the other side of the basketball, Antelope Valley has turned it over 18 times themselves, but really the difference so far has been free throws for the game. Wolverines 17 of 25 as Brandon Avery gets a nice little floater to go in the lane. Antelope Valley only 9 of 11 attempts from the free throw line.
So Brandon Averett now the game high with 19 points after that one, but then Ronnie Russo says, hey, I want to try a three here. He misses. So 2:30 left to play, 75-59, and Averett finally makes it past the timeline. We'll see how aggressive this defense for the Pioneers is the last couple minutes. But TJ Washington gonna milk as much clock as he can. Finally drive to the right, creates contact from Rodriguez. Count it, and the foul for TJ Washington. And that'll be Jacob Mass's 5th and final foul. And his playing days in Orem, Utah are finished. And a whole new team is coming in for Antelope Valley. 5 fresh new faces coming back onto the court. Austin, Johnson, Armstrong, Monkaitis, and McGuire. And Washington clanks this one off the back iron. Still 77-59 with 2 minutes left to play. Armstrong looking for some help. Johnson steps into it with his left hand and finds the bottom of the net with that. 77-62. Trey Woodbury now to Isaiah White. Isaiah White still aggression turned up to 100. Draws and gets the foul call.
Antelope Valley continues to just make 1 or 2 enough shots that keep this thing close enough to where you can't just clear the bench, so to speak, and call it a night for these guys.
Isaiah White makes the first free throw. And Big Brad Kitchen getting some more PT. The hometown boy, locally grown. A couple miles down south in Springville, Spanish Fork. Giving TJ Washington a break and a nice rest. McGuire drives. Jardine intervenes. Isaiah White there for the steal. Gives it back to Averett. About 75 seconds left in this contest. And the Wolverines are just going to milk it. Averett splits the defense. Pioneers come away with it. Johnson in transition. Kicks it out to Armstrong for 3, and Armstrong makes it. 78-65. Fantastic effort here from Antelope Valley. And they go back home to Southern California. And they should be proud of this effort that they put up against a Division I opponent in Utah Valley today. Brandon Averett. Now Jardine with it. Alley-oop. Blocked by Austin, but then a foul call late got him on the body as Isaiah White was trying to put it up and in. So Antelope Valley will travel back home to take on La Sierra before going to at Cal State Maritime and continuing their play. With 31 seconds, Sultan, this one is just about in the refrigerator.
You never felt like it was ever in jeopardy, but Antelope Valley made it more interesting than we probably wanted going into late in the second half. But a great, close out to this preseason for the Wolverines. Again, I can't believe we're already at conference play and we're more than halfway through the season. But we've mentioned before they're going to have a tough stretch starting conference play. But again, this long preseason of being on the road and tough, close ball games have more than prepared them for it.
Utah Valley definitely has grown a lot. Olojopokia rising and denying, continuing to add to his block total on the year. But Utah Valley, again, calling off the guards. Final score will be 80-65, and the Wolverines victorious over the Pioneers of Antelope Valley. Some big cheers coming in from the hometown squad. And you can see the gratitude from Coach Mast, and you can see how grateful they were to have this opportunity. And like I said, the Pioneers going back home have nothing to hang their heads about.
No, they played hard. They hang with a very good Wolverine team that, to say we went into a Division I opponent and only lost by 15 and gave them all their money's worth. I mean, as a coach, what more do you want to ask from you guys? So now, Holton, your final thoughts as we wrap our minds off what we just saw. So Utah Valley finish up this non-conference schedule with this big win here at home. One of the more complete games we've seen from them. And then they, again, January 2nd on the road to Chicago State, kicking off conference play. What are you thinking? It's tough to focus on a negative after a win, but they just got to clean up the turnovers, right? Having 18, 20 turnovers a game, and especially against an NAIA school, these guys have just got to clean it up. And they're not forced turnovers. It's not because they're not good enough to make plays out there. It's because they're trying to do too much at times offensively rather than taking the easy plays. But playing against Chicago State and Kansas City, which those teams feed off of those types of momentum changers, that will be tough for them to win on the road if they continue to do that. Like we've talked about before, this conference is pretty much wide open. It's up in the air right now, and we'll see what happens. But for now, Utah Valley will enjoy this victory as they celebrate New Year's victors here at home over Antelope Valley. For all of our hardworking staff and crew behind the scenes, for Holton Hunsaker, and for our courtside director, producer, engineer Ben Schroeder, I'm Brandon Crowe saying so long and good night from Orem, Utah. Happy holidays. Stay safe, everybody. We'll see you in 2020.